Hi guys, it's me, Godzilla again, and for this video that I will be dedicating to Asian History Month in May of 2026, I shall be talking about a movie that stars the most Japanese thing I can think of, and during the course of the movie, it turns out to be it transformed into a more Japanese thing than the original thing was. I am talking about the 2002 movie Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. And yes, that is probably the most Japanese thing I can think of. Because, it's big into pop culture. It's much bigger than, say, karate or sushi or ramen or anything else or geishas or anything above that. Godzilla is the king of monsters, and there is nothing that can top him. Although in this movie it's kind of weird because Mechagodzilla is meant to stop the original Godzilla, and they stop him, but they don't really kill him. They don't destroy him or anything. It's more of a tie, and the biological Godzilla walks away at the end. Come back for round 2 or 3 or however you keep track of it. So anyway, like the casino says, a push is a win. So in this case, it's a win for Tokyo and Japan as a whole. That Godzilla or Godzilla is pushed back. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't making a big destruction and a big kaboom of everything. And boy is it glorious. But there is a very weird thing about this movie. For some odd reason, they always have the, they have the credits at the end, where you can tell, this actor played this role, this actress did this role, and so on and so forth. Yeah, they don't do that in this movie. All the credits, so far I've seen so far, it's just the name of the actors. So me, being a stupid American, doesn't know who these people are in relation to who they portrayed in the movie. So that was actually really sad. That it's kind of unfortunate because I like some of these actors. Like Godzilla, I like the little girl in the movie. She's awesome and quite cute. Now, I know what you're gonna say, Joey, that's getting into weird territory by saying a little Japanese schoolgirl is cute. But, this movie was made in 2002. That's when it came out. Even though sometimes it said that it came out in 2004, but yet the movie Tokyo SOS, which I think I saw, came out in 2004, so it's 02. In any case, the little girl in the movie was portrayed as being like 8 or 9 years old. So you got age her up to be 24 years older to come out in this year. So by that logic, she just old enough to reject me. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that little thing about the age. But in any case, I don't know what the name of her character is, but she's got this weird psychic connection to this character called Ayane, which is a very pretty name, by the way, and she's the soldier that takes control of Kiru. That'd be the name of the Mechagodzilla. Yeah, this one has a name to it too, rather than just Robo-Godzilla or Mechagodzilla. And this is supposed to be like a bio-android of the original Godzilla. Which is weird because they actually do show the original skeleton of the first Godzilla ever made. The one from 1954 that was destroyed into kind of a last-ditch effort type of science experiment or something or other. I don't think the science is kind of weird. It's kind. I know that Godzilla was supposed to be an outgoing for nuclear war, and that's uncontrollable and unstoppable once unleashed. Even though my father thinks it's just a bunch of crap movie effects and stuff. But anyway, I don't know if the Godzilla presented in this movie is supposed to be a direct descendant of the original Godzilla, or if they would just it was supposed to be like a clone of something, or just a whole new thing altogether in the original. Anyway, there's no pagoda in this movie that always gets destroyed in every Godzilla movie since the beginning, but we do get some other random Tokyo buildings that get destroyed too. Although it would be nice if I have a certain affinity for someone getting smashed in Japan. Don't come out on who she is or where she's from, but yeah. If only he could shoot a giant mega laser or something. That's stretching. So anyway, the effects of it are actually pretty good. Really good, actually. Only, the actual practical effect of Godzilla himself or herself is kind of cheap. Because I fully believe that this looked accurate to what you would expect for a giant lizard that's stomping around with a giant fuck you laser in its mouth. The atomic breath, I should say. But the only thing is that that the actual Godzilla of him looks like a cheap action figure. In fact, come to think of it, actually looks like my action figure that I had from years ago. You know, the tail doesn't move right, the joints all stiff and whatnot, the head doesn't move right. It looks like a cheap piece of crap effect. The time breath on the leads, the growing spines on his back, that's cool. I also like the fact that when it charges up the breath, it charges up for a second, then lets it go, then it charges up again fully, to be kind of like, you know, like I'm starting up again and doing like a slow start type of thing, but when I get going, it's gonna be really devastating. And yeah, that's pretty much half of it with Godzilla in this movie. Very good effects. And by the way, there are some parts in the movie where it's just plain silly, but it's awesome at the same time. For example, during round 2 of the fight, they actually show when Godzilla is fighting with Mechagodzilla or Kiru, and T-Rex grabs his tail and swings him around like a wrestler in a giant ring and match. It's actually very funny to see Godzilla, king of the monsters, get slayed so easily and throws like a little puppy dog. It's actually really amazing. But I actually wonder if you can take a big giant lizard like that easily told and intensely building, how much force and how much lift would you need to be to pick him up and do that to him, and then throw him so far, so distant away into other buildings and such like that. And this fight usually, happens at night. All the office buildings and whatnot are all okay and whatever. They're all lit up like there are people working in there. And I know that the Japanese are famous for their work ethic and their, diligence when it comes to work and stuff. But when do these people actually sleep? When do they nap do they actually have that time in their office space? That's dangerous, especially a giant 2-ton lizard, a 200-ton lizard running around. And let's see, there's also let me start from the beginning, right? So they talk about this Godzilla thing, and they're making it out to be that the Japanese are tired of the giant lizard going around, stomping on stuff, destroying stuff with their time breath, and they're tired of all cleaning up all the messes and stuff of this thing that happens. So they want to make a preventive measure for it. Hence, where Q comes into play, the Mechagodzilla. The Godzilla with the brain of a human behind it. Now they have Miss Ayane be that mind when she had to pilot it, because apparently she's the first woman of the Japanese army or something, which is like kind of something. I don't know when the segregation of the army in Japan actually happened. I want to say after World War II, but I'm not sure about that. And everyone over there laughing at her, saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You're weak and all that stuff. But I like this girl. She's very determined to show everybody up, to show everyone that I can do it. She has a very determined attitude. I like her faces when she does challenges and pull-ups and things like that. Like more like the physical challenge of the obstacle courses and stuff, which really says something. Plus, she's cute to boot, and she forms like a bond with the little girl I mentioned before, because she's her father is a single father, being that the kid, her mother died in childbirth with her sister when she was 4 years old, I gather. So she's kind of like, overprotective over the father and such. Which is fine, but then she ends up saying, I like this person, I like this woman. I do too, but by the way. Call me, and how old you are, call me anyway. So anyway, they also outfitted Mechagodzilla with new weapons to counter the tongue breath of the actual Godzilla. And the thing is that this is called like I think it's like a Sub-Zero. Yeah, that sounds right. And it's basically like not I know I've seen the move just like that in another cartoon. Oh yeah, when when Talos uses the same move when it opens up her chest plates in the Xenosaga games, Xenosaga, and it comes up like a big sphere, and then it blows everything away. Kind of like that, but it freezes everything and destroys everything. And the thing is that in the first round, I guess the name he gains sentience. So when it's about to fire at the biological Godzilla, it refuses. It refuses to work for a moment, giving Godzilla a chance to get away from the blast. Meanwhile, the operator, Ayane, but given authority to use weapons like that by the government of Japan, it's like, what the hell? You're supposed to be supportive to me. You're not supposed to have free will. You're supposed to do what I tell you to do, damn it. And then, if I say to shoot, you shoot, damn it. So, anyway, it's like a big to-do thing. Plus, I like the way that Mechagodzilla is delivered to the battlefield. It doesn't work there, no. It doesn't work there, it doesn't travel there by its own power. No. This is a prima donna machine. This is like the exquisite machine that can be bothered or walk around. What happens is that it gets flown in, again, gets flown in by a jet plane. Modern Japanese jet. And that's mental because of what I said about being prima donna. And second of all, the fact that it's a normal jet probably can handle the weight of this thing. So we have to have like a fleet of helicopters or a VTOL aircraft, vertical takeoff and landing. I'm pretty sure the Japanese would have them at this point, but that would have been something that could handle a load of with a giant metal beast, which is introduced to us like Voltron or like Power Rangers vehicles, and the Megazord, which is funny because Ayane looks a lot like the Red Ranger or something from Power Rangers, piloting this gigantic weapon of war. So anyway, she has to fight Godzilla, mano, pretty much. And, like you said, the effects are kind of cheesy. But I would argue that the effects for Mechagodzilla are more realistic because it's a freaking robot we expect it to be. Where Godzilla is a biological creature like me, you, or anybody else. Anyway, that's what I'm going with. I'm going to pretend that I'm a human. So anyway, it shows that Godzilla at first gets the better of Mechagodzilla. And the whole thing about the free will doesn't come into later things, because I guess it was reprogrammed to obey her without question. Much like me, I would obey her without question either. So anyway, it showed this pilot actually getting the better of Godzilla in the second round, and when she's about to destroy him using the ultimate weapon, the ultimate freeze ray weapon, which coincidentally I would like to superimpose the Miss Freeze gun from Batman and Robin sound effect onto there whenever she uses it. That'd be funny as hell. So anyway, she launches it at him, but then at the last possible second, as the weapon charging up, because it takes like 5 or so seconds to charge up, the real Godzilla shoots him with a atomic breath laser, but it shoots the ground beforehand, so it's more powerful, whatever. He shoots him, and it twists the blade around, so that instead of shooting at Godzilla, the thing ends up swiveling around to shoot innocent buildings and killing people within, and make them all disintegrate, which is really bad for her morale. But then at one point, Godzilla knocks Mecha onto the ground, and the power cells fall drained from his body. And she's gotta go outside the mech and then do something to unlock manual mode or something. You have a giant mecha of war, and she's like a big dinosaur. Why in God's name would you ever have the power output or the transfer, whatever, on the outside of the shell? You would think you would be able to go inside further into like the compartment or the chest cavity or something from inside and do it manually like that. No, you gotta do the old fashioned way by going outside, pushing a big red button, and then switch kind of panel. There could be danger around that spot that Godzilla could attack her or squash her or something else. You know what I'm saying? So it would have been safer just to build the fail-safe thing inside the machine, which she could get to without risking her beautiful health. Also, I should point out that they transfer the entire power grid of Tokyo into a laser beam that transfers to a jet plane that transfers to her directly. And that's kind of funny because you can't help but notice that this first laser vehicle that receives all the power resembles a vehicle from the show Dexter Laboratory, in which he goes to Japan to fight a giant axe-headed monster, and Mandark uses this vehicle to depower the creature or destroy him using a ray gun. It looks just like him, but instead the giant the Mandark actually feeds him and makes him more powerful. So I do want to bring that up, that they probably got the influence for that vehicle and weapon from this movie and talent and stuff. So anyway, we charted Mechagodzilla or Kiru, whichever you prefer to call him, and she takes on manual mode, and then she's like, I have to fight this manually. So in manual mode, it kind of reminds me of the show Genesis Evangelion, as well as Game Omega Boost, where the pilots of these giant mechs can pilot the mech suits manually. It's actually pretty funny because in the movie Redline have a thing where they can do that too, the big giant bioweapons, but they pump a giant tentacle into the back of their heads. It's limitless pancakes. I think that would have been too graphic for this movie, and probably to a higher budget. So they show her take control of this character, this Mecha, and it walks much more human-like, but she still fails, and she falls much like I would fall for walking into it. And I kind of wanted for her to do like bring it on Tucker, bring it on Godzilla right here. You joke right here, pow, right in the kisser. Now, they don't like to do that. They have the part where Mecha shoots his rocket pack at Godzilla, and Godzilla is strong enough to actually take it right to his face, right in the arms, and then stop it right there, like Kamehameha wave or something. And when the boosts are almost dead, he moves to the side like a boss, and then she says, "Enough is too much," and she ends up doing like a kamikaze attack into Godzilla, and she grabs his snout. I can't get off another time breath right in his face, and they end up going into the ocean, where she detonates a giant Sub-Zero blast. It's really quite funny that he do this, because it looks an awful lot like a nuclear bomb blast in the ocean, but this time it freezes in place. And everyone who's watching on TV or the screens and whatnot always say, "Oh my God, is Ayane alright? Is Godzilla gonna be alright? Is he gonna survive somehow? What the hell do you think?" You have to remain with the franchise. But yeah, of course he survives. But he's too tuckered out and too bush to continue. So he just walks off into the sunset. Well, she comes out on top, and she comes out of the mech, and it's like you done good, Kiru. And she stands there like a member of Star Fox. And she's like, "Yeah, we did it. I successfully they successfully pushed back on the Godzilla attack. So yay me! I'm gonna go get me some nice fodder. A nice Japanese fodder. I don't even know how to look at the thing, but he thought it was cute. I'm gonna go get me some nice dilf. So that's where the credit and where she can go happy and such like that. She did the impossible challenge, and there was a guy that sacrificed himself for her. And during the fight where she go kamikaze, she rips the plane piece out of Godzilla's mouth, shuts his mouth, and then jumps into the ocean with him. So she sees his butt. And it's really awesome, this movie. Like I said, some of the effects are real crappy, and some of the effects are really good. I like the fact that they were to like his back spines. That was pretty cool. And it was also really cool that they had the actual Godzilla roar there. At the end, he did with both Mecha and the Godzilla. And I really like the fact that they had the Godzilla still being under control of the humans, because they done in the past where a Mechagodzilla was under control of the humans, and then it lost control because it was the power grid or something like that, or free will or whatever. It short circuit, and it was basically Johnny Five from Short Circuit. But this time she said, "Look, I have no power over you. Yeah, I'm your master, and you obey me. You obey me. I have no problem with doing it either. So, call me." Anyway, I like this movie a lot. It was cheesy, yes, but it was still fun. I love giant robots like Mechagodzilla and the others. I like the fact that they shot missiles at Lego Godzilla, even though they didn't do jack shit to him. I mean, literally, they didn't do anything to him. Just stood there like a statue. Taking it. And even when they flipped him around with his tail, he didn't do any, he didn't move anyway. He just stood there and took it. And I really like that. It's like, I'm so powerful that your low attack won't do shit to me. Won't even make me flinch. So anyway, I thank you for watching my video on Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. I think this is the fourth time that they actually mentioned a mecha version of the King of Monsters for this franchise. But it was so good. So very good. And he looked like a full-blown. So yeah, I'll put the link for the movie in the description below if it's up there anymore. So it's one of the takes. Anyway, did this for Asian History Month of May in 2026. For obvious reasons. Mostly because I like seeing think they get smashed up by the monsters. And second of all, I like to see all the Japanese women for personal reasons, of course. I mean, they do everything in English, thank God. So, yeah, I get this video and makes me on a happy face, silver pool, because she's fucking awesome. Especially like when she said they're all congratulatory about when she pushed back against Godzilla and made him so tired that he just figured, I'm gonna go home. I'm tired. I wanna go home now. And that's the best thing that you can do when you deal with a 200-foot lizard that just knows how to destroy things. And you're fighting with an equally destructive robot. And yeah, they don't really do too much with the bio aspect of Mecha anymore. Kivu. But it's a pretty good concept. Anyway, if you like what you see and you want to see more of my videos, you can always like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also contact me for any future videos you want to know about. Call me or texting me at 631-707-3707. Or if you'd like, you can follow me on Twitter or X if you prefer it at PMuslimPro. Also, you can send me an email at jjviewingchannel@gmail.com. So, I salute all you people there who like Godzilla, like me and everybody else who know. Yeah, and have fun with Godzilla and have things like this. But there was no fun moments on the Senate or that say we did happy dance during the invasion of the Astro Monster. Yeah, that was awesome. So, peace out, my brothers and sisters. I'll see all you girls and guys in the next video. Sayonara, ciao ciao, goodbye.